Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto I.O., the place where I read y'all the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Let's do it. Debate over 2FA using SMF after SIM swapping victim sues Coinbase. Lawyers picnic, FTX counsel and advisors rake in $34 million in January. Vitalik dumped $700,000 worth of shitcoins that he never asked for. The SEC snubbed a Voyager win court approval for sale to Binance US. And judges hear oral arguments in Grayscale suit against SEC over BTC spot ETF rejections. Yeah, guys, a handful of stories that more than I usually do. The reason why I picked especially the last two is it's seeming that the SEC is losing, period. Judges are not leaning in the favor of these cases that they're throwing at certain crypto entities, etc., etc. So we'll see what those articles are about. First and foremost, too, before we even get started, guys, and I know I try and keep this as short as possible. Big thank you. I've seen in the last actually like 3 days, I've seen a huge uptick in the number of views that I've been getting on this channel, and we are a new channel. I didn't expect much to come from this channel anytime soon, but again, like I said, I have been seeing a quick recent uptick in the views, and I appreciate that. If you're watching right now and you've been here either from the beginning or you're new, thank you. That's it's what keeps us doing these YouTube channels. I try to keep this channel as informative as possible, as less opinionated as possible. I know I do have my opinions and I say them from time to time, but the main focus of this channel really is just to get the news out there to you. And again, I'll do a caveat of my opinion on these articles from here to there. But nothing more than that. A brief overlook of what I think the markets look like, and then just reading you the news, guys. And I wanted to keep this channel that simple because a lot of times people don't want fluff. They don't want. At least I feel that way. They don't want people's personality characters coming through. They just want the damn news. And that's what I'm trying to provide here on the channel. Maybe later down the road, if people want, I can get more personal and do other segments, etc., etc. But right now, Boring Crypto I.O. is just the news. I'm just reading it to you. So whether you're driving or on your way to work or sitting in work listening, you don't even have to watch the video necessarily. You can just listen to it, and that's why I do this. So with that being said, let's jump into the market. And we are continuing to move down, guys. Right now, the market is currently sitting at $1.012 trillion. Bitcoin dominance at 42.2%, ETH dominance 18.8%, and 23 Gwei for an ETH transaction. There has been a recent tick down. If you watched the video from yesterday, I told you that I definitely didn't see any strength in the market, which I hate telling you guys. I always want to see it go up. I always would love to be the perma bull, but the facts are it didn't look good, and we're starting to tick down. Bitcoin down 1.37% in the last 24 hours. Sorry, guys. ETH coming up slowly to 1%. BNB a little bit of a baby tick up, a little over 0.5%. XRP moving 4% up, which is interesting. I haven't. Again, I know you guys know I hold a decent bag of XRP, and I haven't even noticed that yet, which is dumb of me. But the rest of that, mostly red across the board today. SHIB with 2.55. Mostly red though. Okay, B down almost 8%. Kronos, almost 4%. Yeah. Phantom down 5. Yeah. Nothing pumping too crazily. but definitely a slow tick down. Now here, let's talk about that. Bitcoin, 4 hour. Yesterday, if you watched, you know I was talking about these 2 blood diamonds that were very concerning on the 4 hour, and the only timeline I did see them on was the 4 hour. Well, they did what they're normally going to do. They ticked down. Let me jump to the 1 hour and see if they've shown up on the 1 hour. No. Let me go to the 2 hour. Oh, that yellow X isn't a good sign on the 2 hour. I'm literally just looking to see if they're popping up on any other time frames. Again, the more time frames they show up on, the better confidence I have them of making it the negative move. It's weird. They're still just on the 4 hour, but it played out, which is what I was telling you guys yesterday. Double blood diamonds, one blood diamond in general is not good. A double blood diamond is really negative. Again, the last time we got it here, we kind of got a fake out after they played out, but then we get the big dump. Now, clearly we broke this 22,336 level, which has been holding for a few days. And we broke down, got almost down to that 21,764 level that I have marked here. And we've kind of slowed down a little bit. Here's the question. How far will these play out? And I don't know, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, they're going to go all the way down to here or all the way down to there. Here's what I'm looking at, though, right now. Our last level of support and resistance, our last cluster after the big pump into this dump is going to be right around here. And we're sitting right on top of it right now at around 22,077. It wicked up here. When we did this double bottom right here, we wicked up to it and it came back down. So this could be turned into a strong support level. If we do break below it, it's going to be a strong resistance level is what I'm looking at. Just keep your eyes on these levels, guys. And this cluster back here it started back in February 9th to about February 14th. So about a week worth of consolidation. The big line I'm looking at right now is going to be this 21,764 to hold. I hope it does. And guys, if I sound a little bit slow today, I'm a little bit under the weather. I had to take some cold medicine. Just was feeling wonky, so I took some cold medicine last night. And I'll tell you what, I feel loopy as shit still. But anyways, for Bitcoin, that's what I'm looking at. Same thing for Ethereum. Ethereum's not doing anything different. It is looking a little bit stronger, but not too much stronger. So we wicked down just barely past my 15.42 level. And instantly got bought back up, which is actually technically bullish. It means there's a lot of buy orders around that area. But then we came back down and damn near touched it again, and we're just ranging. So again, keep your eye on that 15.42 level. If we break, the next level I'm looking at is at 14.85. Just something to think about, guys. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a great trader by any means, shape, or form. So take everything I am saying with a grain of salt. Do some more or your own research. But I always recommend, if you are trading, use stop losses, tight stop losses, trade conservatively. Don't get greedy. All right, moving on. News, because we got a bunch today. Debate over 2FA using SMS after SIM swapping victim sues Coinbase. This is interesting. While members of crypto community are doubtful the lawsuit against Coinbase will be successful, it has sparked a conversation about the issues with SMS 2FA. If you don't know what 2FA is, it's using your phone as a second line of security, using like Google authenticators and things like that. The crypto community is debating whether SMS two-factor authentication should ever be used for account security following news that a Coinbase customer is suing the cryptocurrency exchange for $96,000. Caveat to this, before I get deeper into this story. If you are new to the space, and if you've been in here for a while and you just for some reason don't know, don't click on any links. Any. From your phone, from whatever. Anybody sends you a link, I just don't click on them. Even if it's a homie. If a homie sends me a link, says, hey bro, I go, bro, I don't click on links. You're going to send me screenshots or something, because I just don't. It is the easiest way to phish your phone. These hackers, these shady individuals will usually send you a link to said website. And what they've done is they've basically created a mirror website for a website that you think you're on, like let's say Coinbase or Facebook or whatever, or Google Mail, Gmail. And it literally will look just like the actual website. And so once you click on it, it'll say you've been logged out or whatever, and you need to enter your login information. And without thinking, just how we are, busy humans, busy lives, you start entering in your information. Well, as soon as they do that, you're done. They are hitting all of your Google accounts. They are hitting all of your Google passwords. I've known people that have watched it happen, like watched wallets just drain. It's terrifying. So just rule of thumb, man, I don't click on crap. Like, I don't click on a thing, any links. I just don't anymore. I know it sounds stupid, but that's how I live my life. Some food for thought. So moving on. On March 6th, Jared Ferguson filed a lawsuit against Coinbase in the United States District Court for Northern District of California, claiming he lost 90% of his life savings after funds were withdrawn from his account by identity thieves, and Coinbase had refused to reimburse him. Ferguson is said to have fallen prey to a type of identity theft known as SIM swapping, which allows fraudsters to gain control of a phone number by tricking telecom provider into linking the number to their own SIM card. Interesting. This is scary. This allows them to bypass SMS 2FA on an account, and in this situation allegedly allowed them to confirm the withdrawal of $96,000 from Ferguson's Coinbase account. Ferguson claimed he lost service after his phone was hacked on May 9th and noticed the funds had been taken from his Coinbase account after getting a new SIM card and restoring his service per instructions from his service provider, T-Mobile. T-Mobile was previously sued by a SIM swapping victim in February of 2021 following the theft of approximately $450,000 worth of Bitcoin. Coinbase denied any responsibility for the hack of Ferguson's account, telling him in an email that he is responsible for the security of your email, your passwords, your 2FA codes, and your devices. Members of the crypto community were generally doubtful that Ferguson's lawsuit would be successful, noting that Coinbase encourages the use of authenticator apps for 2FA rather than SMF, and describes the latter as the least secure form of authentication. Dave Ferguson, here is his tweet. Some Reddit users discussing the lawsuit in a post titled "Never Use SMF 2FA" went as far as suggesting SMF 2FA should be banned, but noted that it was the only authentication option available for many services, as one user said. Unfortunately, a lot of services I use don't offer authenticator 2FA yet, but I definitely think the SMF approach has proven to be unsafe and should be banned. Blockchain security firm Certic warned of dangers of using SMF 2FA in September, with its security expert Jesse Lecreary telling Cointelegraph that SMF 2FA is better than nothing, but it's the most vulnerable form of 2FA currently in use. Lecreary said dedicated authenticator apps like Google Authenticator or Duo offer nearly all the convenience of using SMF 2FA while removing the risk of SIM swapping. Reddit users shared similar advice, but added authenticator apps on phones also make that device a single point of failure and recommended to use separate hardware authentication devices. And as per usual, guys, here's my opinion on this. And believe it or not, I was a fool ever since 2017 till literally this year. So I've been guilty of this too. I don't put anything on exchanges anymore unless I'm planning on trading it. Like I have a buy order open or a sell order or something like that, which is really inconvenient and really cumbersome, and I get it. But when we're talking about thousands of dollars of your money, your hard-earned money, your savings, etc., etc., the security to me is worth it, especially after all the stuff that went down with all of these exchanges going insolvent. My point, I strongly recommend, if you aren't trading actively, get your money off of the exchange. Get a hardware wallet. I'm a Ledger guy. I know there's a few others out there. I don't really know too much about them, but I'm a Ledger guy. I think right now, out of the and I don't have a ton of money. Like, I'm not like balling out of control, but I've got a decent portfolio for a regular guy. I think I only have $2,000 of my portfolio on exchanges right now, and I'm even talking about Coinbase. Like, some people kind of don't look at Coinbase as an exchange. It's an exchange. It's vulnerable. If you're not trading, get it the hell off of there. That's just my opinion. Some food for thought. Moving on. Lawyers picnic. FTX counsel and advisors rake in $34 million in January. That's 1 month, guys. January. If you haven't been paying attention to the FTX lawsuit or any of these other insolvency lawsuits that are supposedly working to try and get money back for investors, it ain't gonna happen, in my opinion. If you're a retail investor, my opinion is, this is just my opinion, I'm a nobody, I'm some random dude on YouTube that won't even give you his name. But this is my opinion. First of all, if FTX loses and finds some way to try and pay back its customers, it's going to be the whales and the big wigs to get paid first. The small-time retail investors with a couple $1,000 here and there will not get paid. Secondly, if you don't know how lawyers get paid in these kinds of cases, they're getting paid with your money. That's the truth of it. FTX is paying their lawyers with the funds they have left over after they shut down their exchange. They're not completely broke. There's still lots of money that's tied up on those exchanges. And the way they're paying their court battlings and these lawyers are through your money. Don't think any different. That's where they're getting the money. And the only people who are going to make tons of money in this situation are these lawyers. And this article, at least the headline so far, because I have not read it, is totally backing that up. Where would FTX get $34 million if they were completely broke? Well, from customer funds. Fucking weird. So, with that being said, let's move on. Millions have been invoiced from a host of law firms, investment bankers, consultants, and financial advisors in FTX's bankruptcy case. The law firm's investment bank and consulting companies working with FTX on its bankruptcy case billed the crypto exchange a combined $34.18 million in January, court documents reveal. FTX's chief restructuring officer and new CEO John J. Ray III also received a hefty pay package, charging $1,300 an hour to the total of $305,000 in February. That's 1 month, y'all, according to a March 6 filing. Lawyers are balling and making money. All right, I guess there's his invoice. Several court filings on March 6 show United States law firms Sullivan and Cromwell, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, and Lattice, Rath, and Cobb invoiced $16.9 million, $1.44 million, and $684,000 respectively for their services and expenses in January. I'm in the wrong business, y'all. I need to be a crypto lawyer. Lawyers and staff of Sullivan and Crowell billed a total of 14,569 hours for their work, which equates to over 600 days. Some partners received up to $2,165 per hour, while the firm's paralegals and legal analysis, and just paralegals, these guys just going through work and basically building files for the case. They're not even like, they don't go to trial or anything like that. And legal analysis were billed out at $425 to $595 per hour. The highest price billables were discovery, 3.5 million, asset disposition, 2.2 million, and general investigation work at the tone of $2 million. More invoices, I'm assuming. It submitted another hefty $7.5 million bill to FTX for the first 19 days of February. Ray played a crucial role in keeping Sullivan and Cromwell on board as legal counsel, having filed court motions on January 17th, arguing that White Shoe Law Firm had been integral in taking control over the dumpster fire that was handed to him. His filing came in response to an objection to the retention of the law firm on January 14th by the U.S. trustee Andrew Vera, who claimed that Sullivan and Cromwell had failed to sufficiently disclose its connections and prior work for FTX. FTX Special Counsel Landis Rath and Cobb spent much of its working hours attending court hearings and litigation procedures for its efforts. The firm billed the FTX administrators $684,000, including expenses. I'm sure they stayed at some really nice hotels and spent a lot of money on food and gas, etc., etc. Between the three law firms, over 180 lawyers and over 500 non-lawyer staff worked on the case, most of who came from Sullivan and Cromwell. Forensics consulting firm Alexis Partners billed $2.1 million for January. Almost half of the firm's hours were spent on forensic analysis of decentralized finance products and tokens in FTX's possession. Consulting firms Alvarez and Marcel invoiced for $12.5 million for over 17,100 hours. It committed an avoidance actions, financial analysis, and accounting procedures. More line items. This is stupid. This is where everybody's money. I mean, if FTX might have any money after this is all done. Investment bank Perella Weinberg Partners billed a monthly service fee of $450,000 plus more than $50,000 in expenses for planning a restructuring strategy, engaging in correspondence with third parties. With FTX's trial set for October, there are at least another 6 months of legal work to do for the law firms involved. Recent reports have estimated that the fees could reach in the hundreds of millions. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, this is just, it's insane. These people just, they don't care. By the time the case is over, which could potentially rival the $440 million fees that's a New York-based law firm Weil Gothel made from the infamous Lehman Brothers bankruptcy in 2008. That's insane. Look, and that's what I've been saying, guys. If you lost money in FTX, they are using you, without a doubt, trust me, they are using your money to pay these lawyers. And when it's all said and done, the whales will get something back. Unfortunately, the retail investors will not. Gotta love the legal system. Moving on, Vitalik dumped $700,000 worth of shitcoins he never asked for. I'm assuming this is people airdropping him stuff, sending his wallet stuff, things like that. As Vitalik Buterin's holdings represented a large portion of the circulating supply for some of the tokens, the sales resulted in a huge price drops. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin has gone on I love how they're usually using the term shitcoin in this article, has gone on a shitcoin selling spree, exchanging nearly $700 worth of tokens previously airdropped to him, that's what I assume, for ETH. According to Etherscan, a wallet belonging to Buterin on March 7th offloaded 500 trillion shik for 380.3 ETH, nearly $600,000, nearly 10 billion Colt DAO for 58.1 ETH, which is roughly $91.021 thousand dollars, and 50 billion MOPS for 1.25 ETH for almost $2,000. And those are the wallet transactions. Due to the low liquidity of the tokens, the sales had a huge effect on their price. The largest price drop from the tokens was SHIC, which recorded an 86% drop following Buterin's sale, according to CoinMarketCap data. Ouch. Woo! Look at that cliff. That is nasty. Oh, they were kind of in the green before he did that. Anyway, moving on. The total circulating supply of SHIC is 1 quadrillion. Jesus Christ, these tokens, guys. With the 500 trillion previously held by Buterin representing 50% of the current supply. In May of 2021, the Ethereum co-founder initiated a similar offload selling tokens such as Shiba Inu and Dogelon, Mars, Elon, that resulted in price drops of 40 and 90% respectively. While some within the cryptocurrency community shared their frustration at Buterin's decision to sell considering the outsized effect it had on the tokens, others suggested it was motivated by tax implications of receiving airdrops, which makes sense, dude. You send somebody a bunch of shit, whether they ask for it or not, they can be taxed on it, which are subject to income tax in most countries. Buterin confirmed he owned the wallet in a 2018 tweet after he was accused of hoarding 75% of the supply of Ether with fellow Ethereum co-founder Joe Lubin during the token's pre-mining sale. Interesting. Yeah, weird airdrops and things like that are weird, guys. Because I'm decently in the NFT space as well, and I don't know who or how or why people get my wallet, and I'll randomly open my wallet and be like, where the hell did these NFTs come from? Also, a good rule of thumb, if someone does airdrop you an NFT, do not wallet interact with it at all. That was another way they were hacking people. So unfortunately, they just sit in my wallet. I'm afraid to touch them. I'm afraid to even try and burn them. But that's just me. I'm a weirdo like that. So, anyways, were any of you guys holding those tokens? If so, let me know in the comments down below. Moving on. SEC snubbed as Voyager wins court approval for the sale of Binance US. This is interesting. The ruling allows the crypto lender a path out of its bankruptcy, but it still has to undertake some due diligence with Binance US before the sale is final. This is very intriguing. This was supposedly not going to go down, but it's looking like Binance US is going to buy Voyager. And I know the SEC was trying to step all over this and stop this. Bankruptcy cryptocurrency lender Voyager Digital has won court approval to sell over $1 billion of its assets, $1 billion of its assets, to Binance US. The approval was granted by the United States bankruptcy judge Michael Willis on March 7th, which was yesterday. The approval was granted. I just read that. I'm an idiot. Which came after 4 days of arguments presented by Voyager and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Willis said he would give the trading platform permission to close the Binance US sale and issue repayment tokens to impacted Voyager customers, which would give them back approximately 73% of what they are owed. That is very good news. Willis rejected a series of arguments by the SEC that redistribution of the funds from Voyager Binance.us would violate U.S. security laws, according to March 7th report from Bloomberg. Here's my question. How? How, Mr. SEC Gary Gensler? How would they? You guys just make claims like this and you never back it up with shit. I cannot put the entire case into indeterminate deep freeze with regulators figuring out whether they believe there are problems with the transaction and plan. Good job, Judge. Peter M. Aronoff, a lawyer with the Department of Justice, said at the hearing it's considering appealing Willis's decision. Fools. The judge's decision comes just over a week after 97% of 61,300 Voyager account holders were found to favor the current Binance US restructuring plan. If you're there to protect the customers and 97% of them say we want this to happen and you're trying to stop it, what's that tell you? They don't give a shit about you, according to a February 28th filing. The approval comes a day after Judge Willis stated that no U.S. agency, including the SEC, would be allowed to punish Voyager executives in relation to the issuance of a potential bankruptcy token. The trading platform will now take a few weeks to decide whether to complete the Binance US sale or liquidate on its own and turn over the proceeds to Voyager account holders. This will depend on how troubling Voyager views the ongoing investigation that Binance US is entangled in with federal authorities. Voyager's lead investment banker Brian Ticknor? I'm so dumb. Said in a March 3rd court hearing, if the approval restructuring plan is executed, customers would receive about $100 million more than if Voyager liquidated on its own. Customer payouts will also be influenced by Voyager's bankruptcy court dispute with FTX sister company Alameda Research, which is demanding that Voyager hands over what was originally lent out. Voyager has agreed to reserve $445 million in case it loses that dispute. The price of Voyager's token VGX shot up 32.9% from 37 cents to 50 cents into 4 hours of the news before cooling off to 46 cents at the time of writing, according to CoinGecko data. Good news. Well, let me know what you guys think about this. If you are in Voyager, whatever. I don't know. I think this is a big win for crypto. Anytime the SEC gets its ass handed to them, I think it's a good day for crypto. Comments down below. All right, last but not least. I know it's been a long one. I think I did 4 or 5 stories today. I usually only do about 3. But they're good stories. Judges hear oral arguments in Grayscale suit against SEC over Bitcoin spot ETF rejection. A panel of 3 judges heard the sides' arguments and posed significantly more questions about the SEC's stance, leading to speculation about their leaning. A panel of judges heard oral arguments in the Grayscale investment suit against the United States Security and Trade, the SEC, blah, blah, blah. On March 7th, Grayscale is challenging the SEC order not to approve Grayscale's application to create a Bitcoin spot exchange traded fund. The SEC issued its order on July 6th. Former Solicitor General Donald Verrilli Jr. represented Grayscale, and SEC Senior Counsel Emily Paris spoke for the SEC before Chief Judge Shri Srin. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. Srinivasan. I'm sorry, I slaughter names. And judges Naomi Rao and Harry Edwards in the District of Columbia Circuit Court of Appeals Verrilli opened saying, the fundamental problem with the order is that it contradicts previous SEC orders giving the green light to Bitcoin futures ETPs that pose the same risk of fraud and manipulation and have in place the same CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, surveillance mechanism to protect against those risks. The SEC has approved investment products from Tucrium, ProShares, VanEck, and Valkyrie linked to BTC futures. Paris argued that the offerings are not comparable with Grayscale proposal because the surveillance mechanisms are not identical, as spot markets underlying the assets in the proposed ETF are fragmented and unregulated, unlike the CME, which is regulated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. Paris went on to dismiss the argument that the Bitcoin spot and futures markets move together 99.9% of the time, pointing out that it is unclear whether the futures market leads the spot market when impacted by fraud and manipulation or vice versa. For the proposed Grayscale product, CME surveillance would serve as a proxy for surveillance of the spot market. Furthermore, the 99.9% correlation is based on once-a-day future prices, irrespective of intraday prices added. That was a mouthful. The judges addressed more questions to Paris than Verrilli, leading crypto community commenters to interpret their leadings as favorable to Grayscale. They asked for elucidation, for example, on how Taucriums, products that received SEC approval differs from Grayscale's and why spot futures markets might be impacted differently by fraud and manipulation. Well, just more headway in the BTC spot ETF. You know, we've been talking about this since 2018. Maybe one day it'll happen, hopefully. I don't know. It just means more adoption. But that's all I got for you guys today. I apologize per usual for slaughtering articles. I am loopy as all get up. Bitcoin still not doing much. Just not showing strength, guys. We've got one green dot here that's printing. It's got, how much time's it got left? It just started. It's got roughly 3 hours and 30 minutes on the 4 hour to see if it will print and hold. A green dot is better than nothing. I'm trying to think of things to say, guys, but it's just not looking good. It's not looking pretty. And I'm looking for some silver linings, but I'm just not seeing any. So, with that being said, guys, per usual, trade conservatively, trade cautiously, tight stop losses. Outside of that, y'all, if you do enjoy the content I provide here on Boring Crypto IO every day, please subscribe to my channel. Turn on that bell for notifications so you know when I do post my videos. Watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos. It helps the channel, helps us grow. And I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm out of here.